Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to CoreSpirituality. Today's video will be on a request of one of my brother who had requested in his comments to make a video about the various types of malas which are used in japas as well as the methods. So to elaborate more on that, I will today demonstrate a normal japa which is to be done. Japa is to begin with, in Vedic and Tantric traditions, japa is not merely a ritual but a precise sadhana of consciousness alignment. It is a bridge between the sadhaka's chitta, that is mind, or somewhere it is called as subconsciousness, and the universal vibration and the cosmos. The mantras which are being pronounced during that japa and sadhana will decide the connection between that particular mala, the japa, and that sadhaka. So it is not merely a counting machine, but a living energy or energetic conduit which absorbs, amplifies, and transmits the subtle frequencies of the mantra. Now, before I begin with, I'll just try to show you. Now, this is a normal mala. I mean, if you can see, it is a 108 bead mala, so it will be not visible fully, but I'll try to demonstrate whatever is possible in that particular thing. So this is a normal mala. This is a Rudraksha mala which I am using for demonstration. A normal japa mala consists of 108 beads. These are the 108 beads which are there. And this bead, if you can see in particular, so I'm just zooming it on this particular bead. So this is called as the Meru or the Guru bead. This is the main bead which is helping in keeping track of that particular japa. So normally the first rule of any japa is you start with 108. One japa, one mala consists of 108 beads. There are many malas which consist of 54 as well as 27 beads, but that is not the authentic one which is prescribed in the Shastras. So with this 108 malas, normally the process says the index finger of the sadhaka should not touch this japa mala, because this finger will signify ego. This is ego. So ego should not transcend into the mala, because this is the energy source. This particular source of energy is the only conduit which will help us in transforming ourselves. The japa, the sadhana entirely depends on the mala, the sanctity of the mala and how you do that particular thing. So there are three basic rules of each japa. So normally when you start, so you never touch this index finger, as I said. You can keep it on your middle finger, this mala, and then start pulling this particular thing with your thumb, in particular this way. So normally any particular sadhaka can prefer that way, but normally the way I do, I'll just show you, is this finger is upwards and start it from the second point. So this will be, once I complete one mantra, that is Shri Kalabhairavaya Namaha. So one count is done. Shri Kalabhairavaya Namaha. Second count is done. Shri Kalabhairavaya Namaha. Shri Kalabhairavaya Namaha. Shri Kalabhairavaya Namaha. So in this pattern, once you complete the total 108 counts, so you will totally, in the end, once you reach to this particular point after finishing that japa, so the golden rule or the most universal rule is you will never cross this meru. You will never cross the guru, because this defines the dimensions. It will dissolute, or it will cause complete dissolution of all the energy which you have created in that particular japa. So what you have to do is you have to just reverse this particular mala and start again from the same money which you have started, and Shri Kalabhairavaya Namah, Shri Kalabhairavaya Namah, and Shri Kalabhairavaya Namah. So this is the normal basic technique or kriya which is used for a japa mala. The second most important thing is it is always a sacrosanct thing to have a mala. This contains pure energy of your devotion, because everyday sadhana which you do is included in this particular mala. Normally this type of Gomukhi bags are available for japa. Another rule is when you are doing a japa in a temple or any other particular thing, you do not do it in open. You do not keep the mala open. You cover it with anything, and you store this mala in a Gomukhi bag, which is something like that you get in market for not more than 50-100 rupees, or the mala itself also. Now, I use a Rudraksha mala because I do Bhairav sadhana, as well as in Sri Vidya Upasana, the mother is also, can be also, the devotion can be done with Rudraksha mala. Now, if I have to say, now the basics of this particular mala, as I've shown you the technique, it depends on three techniques. Main is Kriya, I showed you the technique. Dravya, that is the basic element or the material from which that mala is made. And the most important one is the Sankalpa. Sankalpa is the intention what I have. For example, I have to make a Sankalpa of a particular siddhi I want to achieve, a particular ambition or goal which I want to achieve, and for that which I want to connect with the deity and make the cosmos ensure that I get that goal achieved. Any Sankalpa or any intention. So you start with a Sankalpa. You do it with the correct technique and you use the correct material. So, as I said, Meru is never to be crossed. And the position of the mala will always be either with your Ajna Chakra or Anahata Chakra, but it will never be below your navel. It should never be below your navel. You should never keep it like this, or you try to sit with a straight spine, never bend yourself, and focus steadily on that mala. Don't do a robotic chanting, which is not going to serve your purpose. Ensure that you get focused into that particular mantra. Now, as requested about the various types of malas available, so if you know the guna tattva of each mala depends on the material, because every material aligns with a particular deity. So I use Rudraksha mala. Rudraksha mala is associated with Shaivism. So any puja or any sadhana which is done with Rudraksha mala is associated with Shaiva. You can use it for Shakta practices, use you for the mother's sadhana also, as well as Bhairava sadhana, Shaiv sadhana, any sadhana which you do with Rudraksha is okay. Rudraksha is the perfect material. You do not need anything else apart from that. But there are other materials also which are being used in sadhana. So Vaishnavites, normally those who are worshippers of Lord Vishnu or Krishna bhaktas, they use Tulsi mala. Tulsi is the holy basil plant which is considered the most holy for our Sanatan Dharma. So it is made from the wood of that particular thing. It is basically associated with the Vaishnav Tattva, and it denotes your surrender as well as purity for that. And the third most important is Spatika. Now, Spatika is a clear crystal which is denoting clarity. It is mentioned in Shastras. It is for clarity, for cooling effect, as well as amplification of the mantra which you are saying. So most of the time Spatika can be used for Shaiva sadhana also and for Shakta sadhana also. So any upasak who wants to combine, that's a different particular concept. We'll get into that in special particular thing. Apart from that, then there is Kamal Gatta, or a mala made from lotus seeds, which is basically used for Lakshmi sadhana, for the sadhana of Mother Lakshmi, which is basically prosperity. The third material, one more material which is used is red sandalwood, or we call it Rakta Chandana. Now this material is used majorly for sadhana which is done for Lord Ganesha, who is the pioneer and major lord of Adipati of the Devas, who will remove all obstacles, and the ferocious form of Mother, either Durga or when you do Shaptashati and other various forms of Shakti. Now, the majorly what you can see is the intent behind that sadhana in particular thing, of that particular thing. Now, there is a combination for Shanti. If you have to do it for peace, the combination which are being used are of pearl and crystal. Many sadhakas use both combinations of that, because that will amplify as well as harmonize the energy of that. Now, intense sadhanas like Vashikaran, Uchchatan, Maran, which many tantrics do, but I don't know the authenticity of that particular thing, and I cannot comment on that. But the Shastra says if you have to do deeper sadhanas, so you need a Kamalgatta and a Rakta Chandana mala combined together. So which ensures that your sadhana is amplified tenfold. Like same way for Abhicharas also, I said for Shatakarmas and all, darker stones and heavy materials are used. We will not get into depth of that because that is not the point of topic, and we will not dwell much into the darker and deeper sadhanas into that. Now, one major attribute of about every material which is used for that particular Japa mala is because of that elemental alignment with the Pancha Mahabhutas. Now, Pancha Mahabhutas are what? Water, air, earth, ether. These are the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five elements, as you call in the Western world. So they have to align with the consciousness of that particular deity and that particular metal. So combining malas, as one of you had asked me a question of combining Rudraksha with Spatika, it is basically the best and valid and the most powerful combination, because it is signifying the union of Shiva and Shakti. Rudraksha, it is said in common folklore as well as in many Puranas, like there are two various stories. That is, once when Lord Shiva destroyed the Tripura Nagari, the tears which fell out of Lord Shiva's eyes turned into the Rudraksha tree. Second story says when Mata Sati or Shakti died in Daksha's Yajna, at that time when he was mourning, the tears which fell on the ground, that grew into the Rudraksha tree. So whatever the story it may be, but Rudrakshas are nothing but the tears of Lord Shiva, though they are very near and dear to the Mahadev himself. So that Rudraksha is providing you the grounding energy in particular. So a mala of Sphatik as well as Rudraksha, it is alternate, one bead of Rudraksha, one bead of Sphatik. So Rudraksha will provide you the grounding required, the intensity which is required, the power which is required, and Sphatik which is clear. The material itself has the clarity and it will show that the intent is clear, and it will amplify the sadhana which is done on a Sphatik and Rudraksha mala. But I will suggest that you take an advice from your guru if you are using that mala, and if you find the effects of that particular combination to be useful, then you can go ahead with that. But otherwise, if you ask my individual suggestion, you stick with the Rudraksha mala, and if you are using a Sphatik mala, you can stick with the Sphatik mala only. A combination normally usually is amplifying the potency of that particular mala 10 times, or the sadhana 10 times. So keep it down. Now, many sadhakas, if the intent is of Shanti, if I have to say Shanti and that particular thing, then Spatik is used with pearl and other materials. No, ultimately remember, Japa, when it transcends with effort, it enters into a Japa, where repetition will continuously and effortlessly start with it. Now, Japa can be done in three modes. If you are to go into depth, I'll just cover into three major points. One is Vaikhari. Vaikhari method is when I speak the mantra aloud. For example, I'll not say the mantra, but if we start a japa of Shri Kal Bhairavaya Namah, just as I said with the mala, so it will be Shri Kal Bhairavaya Namah, Shri Kal Bhairavaya Namah. This is Vaikhari. I am speaking the mantra aloud. So a beginner who is starting his sadhana right now and is in the beginning phase, and it finds it difficult to align with or concentrate on that particular sadhana, can start with Vaikhari, because it ensures that your alignment is in particular depth of that particular thing. The second method is Upanshu. Upanshu is when I whisper it. I do not say it loud, but it will be. My lips would be moving, but the sound would not be coming. But that is considered superior as compared to Vaikhari. Now the third type of japa, which is the major, and in the tantric and spiritual text, it is given the highest upadhi, which is manasik japa, like mental count. You do not speak out aloud, you do not whisper, but you count. When I say, I count it in my mind, in my subconscious, in my conscious, or my chitta, whatever you called it, and I go on with that beats. That particular thing will is known as mansik japa. The definition of all the three are different. Like 108 japas when you do of Vaikhari is considered as one mala. Any mala is 108 japas. So some texts say one mansik mala is equivalent to 10 upanshu. One japa of mansik is equivalent to 10 upanshu, and one upanshu is equivalent to 10 or 108. In some texts it is 108, in some texts it's 10 of Vaikhari. So right now, don't start with Mansik Japa unless and until you are sure you have gone into the depth and you're sure about the concentration of the level which you can get involved into that sadhana. Do not let your mind wander when you do a japa. Ensure that you do not let your thoughts wander around. you stick to that particular sadhana. That a mala should not be kept on ground, it should be kept in your place of worship. At any point of time, the mala should never be kept on a ground. Come what may. The index finger should not touch. Few of those rules. The crystals or the metals which I described were the few ones which are commonly used. About Rudraksha Mala, you don't have to spend much on the mukhis and all. A normal Panchamukhi Mala, Rudraksha Mala, you get at a nominal price of Indian rupees of 200, 300 rupees. A good original Rudraksha Mala. That is sufficient. Once you keep on doing the japa, that mala is energized and you get the benefits of that particular potency. So that's it. This was the only topic which I wanted to cover today with regards to the paddhatis of japa, the materials which are used in mala. This was with regard to my bandhu or brother who had asked me to do a mala. This is a small and concise video which I am doing. Any queries or any doubts, you can send me an email or you can comment on the video. We thank you for your continued support. Again, please share, subscribe and like if you think that we are providing you any valuable insight into this. So thank you, and till the time we meet again, Om Namah Shivaya to all of you.